Hello everyone and welcome back to the X-Ring. I hope you're doing well today. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the SAKO M10. Did get one of these in for review, and we are going to talk about military grade sniper rifles. Everything from the AX that I've had in the collection for a while. I've competed with it on many different matches. Also the Barrett MRAD, the Mark 22. Also have the SAKO, the TRG 22, and of course the M10 topping it off. I do need to give a big shout out to Native as well as Frank. Frank was on episode 3 of the Sub MOA at 1 Mile Challenge, and I was able to get this on loan for a while to be able to do this review. Also want to give a big shout out to a company organization called Badlands Tactical. It is the one in Oklahoma. There's actually a few of them with that same name. But guys, that's a place for either veterans, active or retired military or law enforcement, that if you need a place to decompress, basically, whether it be PTSDs or anything like that, or if you need a place for training, it is a huge facility, and those guys will coordinate something with you to help you get your mind off things for a while. So if that's something you need, or something that you know of somebody that somebody needs possibly, definitely get in touch with those guys, Badland Tactical out of Oklahoma. So without making you guys wait any longer, let's go ahead and get into a review of these rifles. All right, so before we jump right into the SAKO M10, let's start off with the Accuracy International. You know, whether it's an AX or an AXSR or anything like that, you guys know that Accuracy International has always been known to be one of the most proven sniper rifles in the world by a multitude of different countries. They're made in England. It still remains to be one of my favorite. I have this one as well as the ATX. Different purposes. This was a true military grade style rifle, whereas the ATX, while it could be, it was a little more oriented towards those with competition based, lower center of gravity, but it did have the multi-caliber change. That was a huge thing. Being able to have a trainer round or change calibers, that was a big thing, and you know, that's a real benefit, especially because if you needed to shoot something like, let's say, the Mark 22 here, which is still one of my all-time favorites, you can go from something like a 300 Norma or a 338 Norma, and within a minute or two you've changing calibers. And this one I've got the Proof 6.5, big shout out to Proof, but this is something that I can train with without having to burn those rounds, but out of a big caliber cartridge. But it's got a quick change caliber conversion. That makes it super, super nice. Now, last year I was able to get my hands on a SAKO, the TRG 22. Those guys at Beretta have been huge supporters of the channel over the last year or so, and I was able to get this SAKO TRG 22. It still remains one of my most accurate rifles to date. Using the proper ammunition, this thing is an absolute hammer. I love this rifle. Guys, they're made in Finland by SAKO, and they're just amazing, amazing sniper rifles, but this one doesn't have multi-caliber conversion. So in about 2010, 2011, Special Operations and some other groups were looking for, you know, they were basically expressing interest into these multi-caliber sniper rifles. And so the M10 was born. Guys, the M10 is a phenomenal rifle, it really is. Now, they don't have a lot of the modern, I'm not gonna say they're not modern, they don't have the latest, greatest, but they have that staple that has been around a long time. You've got 308, you've got 300 Win Mag, and you've got 338 Lapua Magnum. That's really all you need for a military grade rifle. But like in the Mark 22, you were seeing some benefits of the 300 Norma or the 338 Norma, and you also have some compatibility with firearms using that same, you know, the machine gun platform using the same ammo as, let's say, the sniper rifle platform. But this does have caliber conversion. You can go from something that's a 308 all the way up to 338 Lapua. It looks identical to a SAKO TRG 22. It is just the M10. Now, there are some units using this rifle as we speak, and you've got in New York, just the emergency services unit, those guys actually picked this up on contract. They actually use the M10 for those guys, and honestly, if you just look at the two, it looks almost identical to a SAKO TRG 22. The only difference is that multi-cal conversion, and this rifle needs updating. So for a whopping $12,000 without the optic, that's what it will cost you if you can get your hands on an M10. And I know it's got the SAKO name, but guys, if you're looking for something with caliber conversion, I mean, you've got the Accuracy International, you've got the Barrett MRAD, which the Barrett MRAD, you know, I was talking to Zach over at Mountains Mullets America, great channel, by the way, if you're wanting to get in long range shooting. Our favorite rifles by far are the Barrett MRAD. No, it doesn't have to be a Mark 22, but if you're wanting something that can kind of do it all, that's that rifle that can do it all. Whether you want a 6 Creedmoor, 6.5, 308, 300 PRC, 338 Lapua, 338 Norma, it doesn't matter. It's just so quick and easy to change those out. The barrel kits are also very cheap as well. To get into this SAKO M10, you're looking at about $12,000 if you can find one. And when I say if, I mean if you can find one, because they're pretty much non-existent. You can kind of also tell that, yeah, while this is the heritage of the TRG 22, because it looks pretty much identical, there needed to be some updating on this. So in the M10, you don't have M-LOK. You've got, you know, these kind of proprietary screws with the spacing for your pick rail and all of that, but everything's kind of gone M-LOK now. If you look at the Barrett, if you look at, you can't consider Accuracy International. Accuracy International has always got their key lock system, which I understand why they stick with it. It is kind of their claim to fame. It does have a strong pull-out strength, and they're probably not going to deviate from that too much. You do have all the accoutrements that you need as far as Picatinis at 6 o'clock and at 12 o'clock on the SAKO M10. It also has a 30 MOA constant taper rail along the top side. It does have coding for everything for the different calibers. So just for example, on the magazine, you've got 2 circles here. Those 2 circles are going to dictate that this is shooting 300 Win Mag. You do have a smooth 3-lug bolt here. You've got a short throw. I mean, guys, this thing is just really nice. Adjustable trigger, 2-stage, but it's almost identical to the TRG 22. I mean, pretty much in every way, shape, and form. This is topped off with the ZCO. This one has the 5-27 by 56, and this one does have the fluted 300 Win Mag barrel. I'll go over how you change those barrels out and all the specifics about it. Let's get started. Guys, one of the things I'll tell you, especially being a former LE sniper, is that you really had to know your cold bore shift, okay? There was always a slight shift, and one of the things that I found with not only the SAKO, the TRG 22, but also in the M10 is there's very little cold bore shift, if any at all. It might be slight. That's been my testing over the last month or so. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to take, we're going to be shooting the SAKO, the TRG Precision Ammunition. This rifle really does like it. I haven't fired a single round today out of this rifle. As a matter of fact, it's probably been about 3 weeks. So this is the CNRL 175 grain open tip match. And downrange, I do have a 100-yard target. And so what we'll do is we'll check a cold bore on this. I didn't have a lot of this ammo, so let me make sure that I've got some left. Oh yeah, I got about 6 or 7 rounds or so. And unfortunately, we're not going to be shooting this long range or anything like that. Guys, the magazines are full metal mags, very robust. I'm sure they're not cheap at all, but this is in 300 Win Mag. For those that aren't familiar with 300 Win Mag, it is a belted Magnum cartridge. So plenty enough power to get whatever you need to get done. Even for elk hunt. I actually, before I got the Bergara, I considered possibly using something like this, and I said, that's just stupid. So here we go. First round, cold bore, smooth feeding. Let's see how it does. So we have one shoot and see that I put up there, and what I'm going to do is, I think we're good. Make sure we're level. We go for the orange pasty in the center. I do have the Olin going. Here we go. Okay, so a 1/2 inch right. That's all right. That's your cold bore. Let's follow it up with another one. Same hole. Might be where the zero's at. I don't know. Here we go, guys. That one pulled a little bit. That wasn't me. You guys might say it is. Either way, that's going to fall in that sub-minute category, which this should absolutely do. There's no reason why it shouldn't. Like I said, we're shooting on a severe decline as well. Not the most comfortable position, but this is a position that you should practice, especially, you know what, I'm not even going to make that comment. But either way, you know, doing any type of rooftop shooting or anything like that can be very difficult if you're not used to the angles and everything. This is a phenomenal rifle, it really is. What I want to do is I'll move the target to where we're shooting a little 4-inch skinny Sammy. We'll see if we can pop it with this 300 Win Mag. Let me move the Island system, and then that'll probably be it. No long range shooting for today. Okay, I'm going to put it right there. Now guys, keep in mind, this is 200 yards, okay? So a chip shot really is. For LE purposes, it's actually long for a shot, because typically their engagements are going to be 70-ish or so yards. That's not always the case. Sometimes you'll be out further than that, but I'm exactly at 200 yards here. And the skinny Sammy is the little tiny steel that you see at the base of that big orange target there. Now, without running any dope or anything like that, I'm probably going to be able to just hold about 3 or 4 tenths and should be able to smack one of those pretty well without any issue. At least I hope so. So let's go for, we were shooting these earlier with some 7 PRCs. You guys remember that, probably remember that video. So let's see if we can do it. We'll go precision shot. We'll go for the orange center at 200 on that multi-faced target. Here we go. Yeah, that was pretty solid. Just a hair right. So I think this needs one left on it anyway. All right. Let's go for that skinny Sammy. Elevation's perfect. And solid. Guys, it is a smooth shooter, especially with the Thunder Beast on here, and that's in 300 Win Mag. I don't know about you guys' experiences, but 300 Win Mag has never been just a hammer for me. It's always been, you know, a decent rifle, and I know that I'd have no problem taking an elk with this if I were to use it, but it's a little bit much, a little heavy for what I want to do. Let's go over some things that I like and I don't like about the ergonomics of this rifle. All right, so starting at the back and working our way front, I like all the adjustability. That's a given, works well. I understand that this is a long action and this bolt needs to come back a long ways, but it does seem like most of my face is up here towards the very front of this cheek riser. No big deal, not really that concerned with it. As far as the bolt, the manipulation, it is super smooth, guys. I have no complaints with that whatsoever. I will say that when I say that it feels a little antiquated, it's that, and I have nothing in here, guys. You see when the safety's on, you can't close, you can't lift it. So even though there's nothing in here, I can press on that and still lift it, even though the safety remains on. All right, so moving on down, I've got a love-hate relationship with this safety. I love how smooth it is, how easy it is to operate. I just don't know if I'm comfortable with it being right here in front of the trigger. And guys, the only reason I say this is if you were to slip with gloves or something like that. Let's say you were on, you know, a mission, you've been out there, you're freezing your butt off, you got your gloves on, you know, you got to stay warm, right? Well, if you're trying to engage this and your finger slips, you're going to fire the gun. You know, maybe there is a technique they teach in Finland where maybe it's like this and you pull like this, or don't make that mistake. But, you know, the thing is if you, let's say you've got something in your sights and you don't want to shoot, maybe you don't have the safety off, maybe it's on. What I like about it is safety's on, you shouldn't be touching the trigger anyway, but it is quick to go and I'm ready. I'm not having to reach up here to get the Remington 700 location trigger. You know, you have the dual triggers from back in the day where it was located in the trigger guard as well, but it is a little bit of a love-hate relationship. I love the way that they've put holes here so you can do the trigger adjustability. Not a big fan of this grip position with this folding mechanism right here. It is kind of right in the way if you like to do this. And so once again, it's not going to fold on you like that because you don't inadvertently hit that, but this is going to be a knuckle buster. As far as the smoothness of this 3-lug, it is super nice, guys. I mean, guys, it is phenomenal to shoot, just like a Ferrari is phenomenal to drive. Is it practical to spend $12,000 on this when you can get something cheaper? I don't know. The quality's there. You guys saw it stacked 2. I think that third one was just me. You know what? Because I've got rounds, let's just throw another one down there. I got to turn the Allen on, but hold on. You know, I think a better testament might be, let's just, let's go ahead and load 3 more up, right? I mean, we've got it here, right? How often are you going to be able to see a M10 full review? So we'll go ahead and do, we'll do 3 more shots, the exact same target. We'll see how they kind of stack on each other. Remember, I did move that a 10th left. All right, let's see if I can get this kind of situated. Oh, that looks pretty good. My parallax set. Good enough, guys. Here we go, red dot, dead center. Yeah, it kind of busts the knuckle a little bit. I pulled that just a little bit, not much. Guys, keep in mind that orange dot in the center is not 1 inch, it's just under that. So that's 6 shots down range. Other than that one that I could have possibly pulled, you'll see what I mean when I say this thing is a shooter. Yeah, utmost confidence with this thing, especially just stacking it one on top of each other with the 300 Win Max. You're talking about a lot of energy there. Let's go over how you change the barrel system out. Let's do that now. All right, to change the caliber out is a very simple operation. You are going to need some tools though, and that's one of the things I don't like. This is a specialty spanner wrench. I'll show you this up close here in just a minute. But first and foremost, you want to make sure that your magazine is empty and the firearm is unloaded. So we know that. I can physically inspect inside of here. We are empty. So the next thing I want to do is I want to take this handguard off. I have to take it off on the SAKO, the M10, in order to do the barrel change. Now, of course, you are going to need the Torx and able to remove this handguard. It's just these 2 screws here. So what you can do is you can actually just fold this stock. We can remove the bolt like that, and then we could actually use this Torx here for removing the handguard like that. You guys can see that. Let's just go ahead and do it. One of the things I don't like though, guys, is the paint is not holding up on this Torx. And guys, I was actually using like proper torque wrenches and everything else to get it loosened up. I'm not going to bore you guys with this in YouTube. I'm not making any modifications. I'm just showing how to clean the rifle. The front bolt actually comes out, so you can lose that and the washer if you're not careful. The back one, however, is it's in there a little more securely. And what we're going to do is we're just going to hold this like this, probably doing it the most difficult way possible, but I'm just trying to show you what you have to use to do this. Okay, from here I should be able to turn it by hand. Yeah, I've got it. And you pull it, you cannot lose this one. This one actually retained. So what we're going to do now is just pull forwards, and you'll notice that, let me go ahead and set this down, guys. You'll notice that the toolkit comes off with it, but this is not going to contain what you need in order to take the barrel off. this right here is actually calibrated for the torque on the barrel. It's basically a torque wrench. And what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to unscrew this, just loosen it, and then this barrel system comes out. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen this barrel, and that's it. Pretty simple. I forgot there's a locating collar. I'm going to use a little more torque than that. All right, and that's it. And you guys will notice that you've got this square, I'll call it a trunnion, but you also have this locator with this slot on it for this locator pin. So that's what you would need to basically change the barrel out. This is 300 Win Mag, you have the bolt, you have the magazine. Now a caliber change is going to cost you about $2,000 if you can find one. Well, fortunately, we found one. This is in 338 Lapua Magnum with a 20-inch barrel. I will shoot this at a later date, but if we did want to install it, you get the barrel. You're going to have the magazine, but now we're going to notice there's 3 on this to indicate that 338 Lapua Magnum. So it actually has 3 stripes on it. I haven't looked at the magazine yet, but if I had to guess, I would guess that the magazine is also going to have 3 stripes on it as well. Yep, it's got 3 circles right there, 3. And then the bolt, I'm sure it has 3 as well. So that way you don't get stuff mixed up. All right, so now that we've done that, it's going to be the reverse. What we've got to do is we've got to find that V-notch. You can also see the feed ramp here. So I already know that's the bottom orientation of it. And you also have what looks like the locator pin right there. And we have to make sure that that sleeve falls in straight. So if that doesn't time right, it's not going to work right. So I'm just kind of wiggling the barrel a little bit, getting this started. And what we're going to do is recheck it to see if our return to 0 is there, because it should be nice and portable with a barrel change. All right, here we go till it torques. Ready, and okay, that's it. So once we've done that, what we're going to do is we're just going to slide the handguard back on. I don't want to hit the threads. Once we do that, let's go ahead and get that one in. We'll get the other pin started. All right, so that's it. Let me throw this can on and then we'll resume. Like I said, I haven't shot a single thing. I still have the bolt in my hand. Let me go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and insert the bolt. Let's go ahead and see if we can find 2 more rounds of this ammo. And just remember, guys, we did this on 1 take. Let's see, I gotta make sure I've got some rounds left. A lot of these were shot from, oh, I got 6 rounds left. We will do 3 rounds. Man, this is just incredible ammo here. All right, 3 rounds. And let's mix it up a little bit. What I'd like to do is on that paper, there are 3 black dots. We're just gonna go for the middle dot under the big bullseye. I'm sure that makes sense to you guys, so give me just a second. You know, actually, because we just shifted this barrel, I don't know how much of a shift there's gonna be. I think it's gonna be better if we go for the far left, the number 7 there on the target. That way, if we see it, we'll have a better visual on it, if it makes sense to you. And it gives me more paper to work with in case we have a shift. I've never done this before, so here we go. Far left, number 7, I'll circle it, here we go. Should be right. Guys, that's after a barrel change. Pretty sick, huh? What is it with that third shot? I don't think it was me. I have no idea why that's happening. It could be the angle, because it is really tough to get this angle like this and get you guys a crazy precision shot like that. But either way, it's still going to be sub-minute no matter what. I'll go ahead and get those, and let's go ahead and finish up this review. What we've got is the SAKO, the M10, and we've got a couple of different varieties of ammunition, all match grade ammunition. We do have the TRG Precision by SAKO. This is a 175 grain open tip match, and this is going to be in 300 Win Mag. We also have the Hornady ELD match. This is 300 Win Mag and 195 grain. We also have the Burger. Now, I was only able to get the Classic Hunter, 185 grain, but this will be the Burger. So let's just go ahead and do that. Then I'm immediately going to do the Burger, and then I'll do the SAKO. Unfortunately, it is going to be pretty hot by the time it gets to that 9th round of 300 Win Mag. I'm assuming that the velocity is going to be somewhere around 3,000 feet a second. At least that's what I would figure out of this. So we're going to go top left target, black square, shooting for group. Here we go. Okay, I didn't change anything, but it's holding right there at that minute, shooting the Hornady. So average velocity on that was 3,005 feet per second. That'll give us an opportunity to go to distance here in a minute. All right, now we'll move to the Burger and see what it does. And like I said, guys, in all fairness, I don't doubt this is a sub MOA rifle. It's just this spool is wobbly, very wobbly. I'm doing this standing just because of the conditions today. I'm going to get a lot of mirage off the ground, and I just want to be as fair as possible. But as long as we can get 3-shot groups, I think we'll be good. Here we go. Center target. Okay, guys, that absolutely wasn't me. I don't know why it would have thrown that shot like that. All right, so we're going to go for the third square. Average velocity on that Burger was 30.46. So it's substantially faster than the Hornady. Lighter weight bullet. And then on the Burger, or on the SAKO, here we go. Actually, those are the same. 185 as opposed to 195. Here we go. Of course, it's going to shoot best with the SAKO ammunition because the TRG is actually made for it, guys. That's a good tight group. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of this left. All right, so coming down to the targets where you guys can see them a little bit better. This was the Hornady. We got 2 rounds here, 1 up here. We are shooting at an angle, so that's not key holding if that's what you're wondering. This right here, I don't know where that shot came from. I really don't, because I don't think I pulled it, but this was with the Burger, and then we had the 1 flyer. This is 3 with the TRG ammunition, which was super, super tight. Let's see what kind of velocity we had on that. This is 32.36, so this is scooting. This is 3,200 feet per second. This is definitely some fast ammunition with that 175 grain, that CNR L, which is what this likes, which is awesome. But we're going to have to shoot it with the Hornady at 3,000 feet per second because I'm going to engage targets. We'll go out to like 900 and 1,000. I don't need to mess with any intermediate targets. Like I said, I've got to get some dope for it. But now that I've got a baseline on what our velocity is, we should be good to go. All right, so I do have the Vectronics Vector X, guys. I've been beta testing these as well as the Shooters app. I have not linked anything up. I just now built a profile based on the data that we put in there. It literally took me about 3 minutes. There's a Suburban out there. You guys can see it. Let me go ahead and range find it first. I'm getting 932 yards. As far as the magazines feed smoothly. As far as the feel of the rifle, guys, it is quality. There is no doubt about it. When you're shooting a SAKO, there is nothing like it. The action's just super smooth. And this is a full-size IPSC, so it is a man-sized steel that we're going to be trying to engage here. Let me go ahead and get my elevation set kind of right. And we're going for the Suburban. We do have a little bit of breeze, but I've got right to left movement out of the Mirage down range. And here we go, 932 yards, this should connect. Here we go. Impact. So 932 yards, elevation's good. I was holding about 2/10 on that, and we're about 2/10 off. It's a dead center though. So now there's a smaller third IPSC right behind the Suburban. And guys, remember, this is 932 yards. Here we go. Just off right side. So that would be a center hold. Let me try one more. I don't want to get this thing too hot, guys. And third IPSC, 932, and impact, left edge. All right, so the thing is solid, guys. It's a shooter, even a 300 Win Mag. I do need to chew this dope out. Let's go ahead and go up on top of the hill. It's about 1,100-ish yards. Let me check these Vector S's and see. I've got 1030. 6.8, we'll just call it 6.9. Let me go ahead and move the spotting scope over. So guys, I'm going to zoom out and we're going to move all the way over here to the left. Right there. That should do it. Hopefully it's clear enough. Take one round. I think the wind's going to push a little bit more. We hold about 4/10 right. Check level. Here we go. Impact. So guys, it is a phenomenal shooter. There is no doubt about it. Shoots great. All right, so finishing up the review of the SAKO M10, I'm genuinely impressed. I really am. To be able to take the barrel off, put it back on, and not have a shift, a perceivable shift at all. It didn't shift whatsoever. It went back to exactly where it was before I took it off. That is pretty phenomenal. It really is. And that's extremely important when you're doing multi-caliber changes for professional work. Guys, it's not a game. It's not something that you're going out and shooting for PRS points or anything else. When it matters, those shots matter. And your rifle needs to be able to do stuff like that each and every time, no matter what, regardless of the conditions, regardless of how much abuse you put it through. And that's the difference between, you know, these rifles and the MRAD and the, you know, the Accuracy Internationals and all that, is they've been subjected to those tests, and they can do it time and time again. Guys, I'm extremely impressed with this rifle, like I am with the TRG-22. I'm even more impressed that you have the multi-caliber change. What I'm not impressed with is the price. I think it is not only cost prohibitive, but I also think it's one of the highest on the market. It really is. While SAKO has a name second to none, just like Accuracy International, I believe they both have their place. I just don't know, without the modernization of what's going on with the handguards and everything else. If they modernized a little bit and reintroduced it, again, you got to remember that was 14 years old. It would be pretty cool. They're definitely not going to sell many at that price point, although there will be some floating around. By the time you add in barrel changes, I mean, you're easily into the, you know, $14,000, $15,000 range for just a rifle with a barrel conversion. It is an amazing rifle though, and I hope you guys appreciate the time and energy that went into trying to bring you the review on something that's pretty rare, because it's taken a while to do this. I do plan on shooting it with the 338 barrel. However, these don't come with 5.824. It's going to have the 18x1, the European threading for the suppressors, and I definitely don't want to shoot a 20-inch 338 Lapua Magnum out of that 20-inch barrel with no brake or muzzle reducing brake or something like that, or a suppressor or something. So guys, that pretty much ends it up. Big shout out to Island. All the downrange footage was brought to you by the Island Snapshot System. And I appreciate each and every one of you that help support the channel, especially my Patreon subscribers. I don't do enough for you guys, and I really do appreciate it. If you want to find me on Patreon, just go to Xring. If not, no worries, but just do me a favor and please subscribe. I'm trying to make a concerted effort to definitely bring you guys some really unique footage of really unique rifles, platforms, equipment, things like that. Not necessarily the stuff that you need, but just stuff that's cool or stuff that you might want. All right, I hope you guys have a great week. Trying to think of what's coming up. I was going to shoot a quantified performance match this weekend. After shooting last weekend, I just didn't feel up to it. So I don't know what's next. We'll come up with some other reviews that we've got to do here soon. You guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.